what is the cardboard that the poet is talking about here? There is a photograph embedded inside the cardboard. The frame of it is made by a cardboard. Look how they have dressed us for the beach. How silly we look. As kids, dressing up, whatever is fine, whatever is cool. But when you grow up and when you look back at it, is that how I dressed? The daughter's past is the mother's laughter. She has lost it. And the mother has lost the vacation that she had gone to and the experience that she had over there. She cannot live it again. Hello everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you to your prep school. This is your prep school English class and I am your English teacher, Kshama. Welcome aboard. Today, we are going to talk about your first poem from your textbook Hornbill, that is a photograph by Shirley Toulson. Now, a photograph, who is the photograph about? Who is in the photograph? Who is taking the photograph? We have no idea. Let's find out. Are you all excited? Now, in this session, we are going to talk about the poet who has written this poem and what is the summary of the poem. We have to analyze the poem line by line. Now, what is a poetic device? In order to enhance the beauty of the poem, we use these poetic devices. The poets use the poetic devices. Let's get to know about them in detail as we proceed. First up, I have two important questions for you. These are on the screen as you can see. How is it that the moments that we have, gone through with a lot of difficulty, have suffered a lot, when you look back at them, when you introspect about them, how is it that you are happy about it? You have a smile on your face and you're glad that you passed through it. You have become what you are after you have passed through it. And what's with the lump in the throat moment when you think about the memories where you were happy? When you think of the old memories, you actually feel sad. What is the contradiction about? Have you ever wondered? Now, why are these questions important? You'll get to know soon. This is the poet. Her name is Shirley Toulson. She is a poet, a journalist, and also a creative travel writer, something that we all would want to become as well, is it not? She is also a travel writer, a poet, journalist, travel writer, and her greatest inspiration for writing comes from her father, who was also a writer. And I would also want to bring it to your notice that she has edited the works of some of the well-known names in the field of literature. When you think about English literature, these are the names that you cannot miss. First one is my favorite, Charles Dickens. Then there is Rudyard Kipling, John Milton, William Shakespeare. I'm sure you have come across the works of these legends, of course. So their works were also edited by Shirley Toulson. Now this is what we know about the poet. She is a poet, a journalist, a travel writer, as well as the fact that her inspiration to write comes from her father, who is also a writer. And then she has edited the works of Charles Dickens, Rudyard Kipling, William Shakespeare, and John Milton, of course. Now, what is the poetry about? Let's read the poetry. Let's read, relish, and enjoy the poetry first, okay? Let's read the poem, A Photograph by Shirley Toulson. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands. And she, the big girl, some 12 years or so, all three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Did the cardboard also show you how it was? Let's find out. The cardboard. What is the cardboard that the poet is talking about here? There is a photograph embedded inside the cardboard. The frame of it is made by a cardboard. It is a very old photograph. Nowadays, you don't get to see photographs with frames of cardboard, is it not? This cardboard that has a photograph in it, it is showing the poet about how it was. Cardboard is talking about a seized memory. Now, photographs have this quality very special about them. Although they have seized moment, that is, you cannot call it lifeless, is it not? Whenever you look at them, it brings a train of endless memories that run through your head. Now, in the same way, when the cardboard is shown, it speaks of how it was. It is speaking about the past. Then, when the two girl cousins, there are two girl cousins along with someone else. There are two girl cousins holding, each one of them holding her mother's hands. Whose mother's hands? My mother's hands. Shirley Toulson says, in the cardboard, there are three girls. Pay attention, there are three girls. One in the middle one is 12 years or so. Okay, the one in the middle is 12 years and there are two other girl cousins who are holding her hands. Each one of them is holding her hands. And the person in the middle who is 12 years is the poet's mother. It's Shirley Toulson's mother. And that is who has written the poem. Okay, so pay attention to the fact that it is 9 lines over here. In this stanza, there are 9 lines. Why I say that, I'll let you know very soon. This entire stanza is written in free verse. There is no particular rhyme scheme that you can notice. It is written in free verse and the first stanza is 9 lines. And there are 3 stanzas in total. Remember the number of lines here. Now in the picture, in the cardboard, what do we have? There's a 12-year-old girl with the 2 other girl cousins holding their hands. What are they doing? Where are they? They have gone paddling, okay? They have gone to the beach to do the surfing, to spend time there, okay? All 3 of them. All 3 stood still to smile. How is it when, this is nothing but creating a candid, I would say. Whenever somebody asks you for a picture, whatever that you're doing, you just let go of everything and then you pose and smile, right? Similarly, these 3 girls, all of them stood still without making any movement. They stood still to smile. To smile at who? Through their hair. Now, why through their hair they have to smile? They have, of course, gone to the beach. And in the beach, of course, there's a lot of wind blowing. Now, the wind is actually blowing through all their hairs and they are managing to smile through their blowing hair. Okay, that's the reason their hair is blowing. At who? The uncle is the one who is with the camera. Behind the camera, there is an uncle who is saying smile and all of these three kids smile. They stand still and smile. Okay. My mother's a sweet face. The poet cannot. You have also looked into your parents' old pictures and you can't stop but fond over their sweet, innocent faces, right? Similarly, the poet over here cannot help but fond over the sweet face of her mother. Okay, but that was before she was born. Now, before Shirley was born, this photograph was taken. Of course, her mother is only 12 and has gone paddling with 2 of her cousin sisters. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Now, what is she talking about? The sea has not changed much. It has not changed much. How does she say it? It appears to have changed less. It has not changed. But it is washing the feet of terribly transient feet of these 3. Now, in these 2 lines, the poet is actually talking about, she's contrasting the imagery. She's using an image, contrasting image of immortality of nature and mortality of human lives. Now, how is it that we were just talking about something very fun, going to the paddling with cousins and moving on to a very serious thing like this? You'll get to know now. Here, she says how the nature, we assume that there is a story you might have remembered. There were 2 leaves on a tree once. One was very young and the other one was growing very old day by day. And one single day when the old leaf, fell down. And the young leaf started laughing at it so hardly. But eventually, it became so that the day of the young leaf came and it also fell down, and the other leaves were laughing at it. So we humans, we assume that we are forever. We are like that young leaf, whilst we don't realize that the huge tree that is carrying all these leaves is nature and not the old leaf that is falling off. I hope it makes sense. Now the sea, or the part of the nature, is immortal. It is going to stay there forever. And it is washing the feet, terribly transient feet of these humans. Transient is something that is impermanent. It is not permanent. Okay? Now, what is a transient feat? Here, you see the usage of the first poetic device, which is a transferred epithet. What is a transferred epithet? It is nothing but an adjective used to describe something which has been transferred to another thing. Now here, the poet uses the words terribly transient in order to describe the mortal nature of human lives. It's not permanent. But in order to describe that, she has transferred it. Transferred it to what? To the feet. Feet here symbolizes the human lives. Okay, how impermanent it is. That's why it is a transferred epithet. That is the first poetic device. Second one, you might have noticed, or it has gone unnoticed by you. Let me drag your attention there. Here you see that three stood still to smile. Stood still to smile. There is a repetition of consonant sounding. The line sounds beautiful with the use of that poetic device. Now, why are you studying the poetic devices? You should be able to appreciate it. You should be able to understand how much the usage of that one poetic device is enhancing the beauty of the whole line. Is it not? Stood still to smile. You see the repetition of the consonant sound S here. Now that poetic device is called as alliteration. Okay, there's also another example here. Terribly transient here. Terribly transient T. The consonant sound T has been repeated twice. Over here, S has been repeated thrice. Now this repetition of consonant sounds is called as alliteration. Clear? I hope you have understood this whole stanza. Let's have a quick recap. The cardboard, or the photograph seized inside the cardboard, is talking about the seized memory. Memory of who? Photograph of the poet's mother, Shirley's mother, who has gone paddling with two of her cousins. Each of them are holding her hands, and she's 12 years old. Standing still with a smile, they are posing at the uncle with the camera. Then she has juxtaposed. We reach at the juncture of juxtaposition. Contrasting images have been put forth for us to think about. Okay? The mortality and immortality of nature. The immortality of nature and the mortality of human lives. Now, why are we stepping into such a serious topic? See over here in this stanza. Some 20-30 years later, she'd laugh at the snapshot. She would laugh at the snapshot. See, Betty and Dolly, she'd say, and look how they have dressed us for the beach. The sea holiday was her past. Mine is her laughter. Both vary with labored ease of loss. Some 20-30 years later, after this photograph was taken, in the first stanza, we saw that there were 9 lines, and here we see there are 6 lines. You see the reduction in the number of lines. Let's keep that in our head. There is reduction in the number of lines. Is it being difficult for the poet to keep on writing the lines? Is there something that is bothering her? In the happy part of it, she just wrote 9 lines, and when she moved on to the next stanzas, it is getting reduced and reduced. Why is it so? Let's find out. 20-30 years later, after this photograph was taken, after they have gone to the beach for paddling and it is all done, she'd laugh at the snapshot. She meaning who? The mother would laugh at the snapshot, and look how silly it is. See, Betty and Dolly. Here we get to know about the names of the 2 cousins, Betty and Dolly. Such sweet names. She would say, She would not only look at it, point at Betty and Dolly who are holding her hands, and she would say, look how they have dressed us for the beach. How silly we look. As kids, dressing up whatever is fine, whatever is cool. But when you grow up and when you look back at it, is that how I dressed? Or is that how we went out? It looks very funny. It looks very silly, right? She says, look how they have dressed us for the beach. How they have dressed us for the beach. Somebody else got them ready for the beach. The sea holiday was her past. Now about Shirley, what we know so far is that the first few lines is all fun, is all jolly. But the last two lines, she really has something serious for us to ponder over. Okay. The sea holiday was her past. Whose past? Them going to the sea holiday and enjoying is the mother's past. Okay, it is in her past. Mine is her laughter. But the mother's laughter, the way she used to laugh, the way she used to be happy, is the daughter's past. For her, it is the past now. Why? Let's see. Both vary with the labored ease of loss. They have lost something. The daughter has lost her mother's laughter. Okay? And the mother has lost the sea holiday. She has aged. And she can no more be the younger version of herself again. So she has lost the sea holiday, the picnic. And the daughter has lost her mother's laughter. Now both of these losses are difficult to take. But they are trying so hard to, try to ease with the difficulty, to try to accept the loss that they have gone through. It is labored. It is they both of them are trying to attain it with a lot of difficulty, try to ease of loss, try to accustom themselves, to get accustomed with the loss, to ease themselves with the loss. But it is taking a lot of their effort, right? When you are going through something difficult in your lives, when you go through it, the entire period seems very hard, seems very long. It feels like it is not at all ending. It is getting dragged and dragged and dragged. But once when you get through it, you pass through it, it's like, oh, okay, it is done finally. Similarly, they are trying so hard to find that ease, to reach that aftermath of sadness and be easy with the loss, be okay with the loss. That's what we have learned from this stanza over here, which has been reduced next. After 9 lines, it has been reduced to 6 lines. 20-30 years later, as we saw it, her mother laughs at the picture. Betty and Dolly are the cousins. Sea holiday is the mother's past, and the mother's laughter is the daughter's past. Why so? Trying deliberately, both of them are really trying hard to accept the loss, to find ease with the loss. At last, now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. And of this circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. Its silence silences. She has been dead. Now we know why the mother's laughter is the daughter's past. Because the mother is dead. And how long has it been that she is dead? As long as that girl lived, which we all know, it's 12 years. It's 12 years already that the mother has passed away. Okay? And of this circumstance, this situation right here, this position where the poet or the daughter is right now, there is nothing left to say at all. Okay? And its silence silences. The absence of her mother leaves her with the pain-induced silence. She is in a state where she is not able to say anything at all. It is so much, her heart is so much heavy with the grief that she is going through. It's almost 12 years that her mother is dead. Okay? The first part we saw, the photograph is something like, creating a memory. And then her mother cherishing the same memory. Now her mother has become a memory. So there are 3 stanzas over here. It has been reduced to again some 3 lines from 9 to 6 to 3. It can also be taken as a symbolism of how she was able to write so much with so much happiness She had a collection of nostalgic fountain exploding out of her with a bunch of well put words in the first 9 lines. And then it goes on reducing from 6 lines to 3 lines, where she says, it's silence, silences. She can't write. She has nothing to say at all. The pain is so much. The grief is so much. To lose your loved ones is the same, isn't it? It is indescribable, hard to articulate. So 12 years past the mother's death. What could possibly be said about this painful scenario? There's nothing left to say, and the pain-induced silence silences her further. Here also, you can see the alliteration and the beautiful effect that it creates. It's silence, silences. The consonant S has been repeated twice. And my God, what an effect it has on all of us. Then, moving on. I know this poem sounds very sweet, very simple, but let's be more than superficial. Let's dive deep and try to understand what exactly it is. This photograph is a symbolism of a tunnel of time, where firstly her mother uses the tunnel of time to go through it, and then now the daughter is going through the tunnel to find out about her mother. Is it not? Photograph is not just capturing of some still moments. It talks about memories. It talks about moments that made one feel fountain of tons of emotions, right? Now, cardboard, why does she use the word cardboard? Cardboard signifies the lack of permanence. Now, it is not like a hard frame that can be preserved forever. Cardboard is prone to damage. It can be damaged any moment. Somebody, tears it or something happens to the cardboard. It is very easily damageable. So it signifies the lack of permanence of human life. Although what we experience is forever, or the nature around us is going to be there for eternity, we humans are not going to be there forever. Okay. Reduction in the number of lines as the poem progresses, it truly bothers if one really pays attention to it. Stood still, the examples for the alliterations in the poem are as such. Stood still to smile, terribly transient, it's silence, silences. These are the examples for alliteration. Next up, we also talked about the transferred epithet, transient feat. It is nothing but an adjective used to describe something, a quality of something. Transient is mortal nature of human life, okay? But it is transferred to the feet that symbolizes human life, okay? Labored is an oxymoron. Oxymoron is nothing but a two contradictory ideas or words put together. Labored is with a lot of difficulty, right? Laboring, doing work, hard work. Ease is very easily. Now, these two are very contradictory, right? When these two words are put together, that is called as oxymoron. Oxymoron is putting together of two contrasting words, like white and black. These two are opposites, yet put together. Something like that is labored ease, correct? Moving forward, the essence of photograph. What was there in the photograph? What are the nuances, details in the photograph that we could pick out? First up, the photograph talked about the nostalgia of both the daughter and mother. Although the daughter is not in the picture, she had a lot of memories of her mother that she could extract. The mother could extract her own old memories. So it is a beautiful source of nostalgia for both the mother and daughter. The passage of time changes humans, but not nature. It does not have any changes on the nature. Nature is not subjected to continuous changing, okay? Except for the seasons and everything. Seasons will, of course, get back again. But we humans, we cannot be young again. We cannot go back to our childhood again, right? Contrast between mortality and immortality. How the terribly transient, the mortal feats are being washed away by the immortal waters of the seas. Beautiful imagery. Then there was creating memory, where the two girl cousins have gone paddling with the poet's mother, and the uncle is clicking the picture. As the wind is blowing through their hair, they're trying to smile, okay, standing still. Then the memory is being cherished by her mother. She says, see, that's Betty and Dolly, and look how they have dressed us for the beach. And then becoming the memory. The daughter's past is the mother's laughter. She has lost it. And the mother has lost the vacation that she had gone to and the experience that she had over there. She cannot live back again. That's her past. And after that, 12 years later, when the mother has passed away, the daughter looks at the same picture and there's nothing left for her to say at all, because her mother has become a memory and the pain silences her. So there are three stages that have been explained with the help of 3 stanzas, which had 9, 6 and 3 lines written in free verse, and the poetic devices that were used to enhance the beauty of this poem were alliteration, transferred epithet. There was contrasting imagery of mortality of human lives and immortality of nature. Then we also had an oxymoron, labored ease, just like black and white. Okay. So on that note, I hope we had a beautiful journey going through this mother and daughter and their stages of nostalgia. You also go on vacations, you also create moments or experience these beautiful moments with your family and friends. Eventually, they are going to turn into memory and become very special for somebody else. When you look back at your own grandparents' memories, when you look back at your own memories, so try to live them as to your fullest potential as possible. Make it a worthwhile wherever you are, whatever you do. On that note, I'll see you all in the upcoming classes. Read the poem, enjoy the poem, appreciate whatever the words, whatever the poetic devices that have been put into the poem, and try writing your own as well. I'll see you all in the next class.